Greetings! What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. There was a little bit of that was the very first battery that I flew at one of the last days that we got to use that spot. Unfortunately, apologies for the wildly loud noises behind me. The 3D printer is cranking away. It's I'm printing a toilet. See it? See it? So there's a toilet hanging off the side of it, and then there's another one printing. The one hanging off the side, the bottom of the toilet is not opened; it's closed, and so the Bamboo Labs printers they make these little poops. They purge the filament into this little thing, and then it cuts it off, and it usually just throws it. But on Thingiverse, there's a toilet, and I accidentally printed the version with the closed bottom, and so it fills up pretty quickly, and it's kind of annoying. This one that I'm printing here has an open bottom, so I'm gonna put like a little tray underneath, and so it'll you know, the toilet will act like a basketball hoop and backboard. I present to you my shit's back together, yo. What's happening here? It's all back together. Look at it. Look at how cool this shit is. Here, hold on. Let me get out of the way so you can get the full Megillah. Oh wait, hold on. I can put this thing back now. Well, not back. I moved this around. This thing used to be over there in between the Stig helmets, but I decided to move it, and it's gonna live here now because I think that's cool. Although, fucking A, that covers up a whole bunch of the cool stuff. That's kind of annoying. What can I do about that? I can pull it out a little bit. What if I do that? Is that better? Is that better? Yeah! There we go. I could even pull it out a little bit more. Cool. That's alright. Just remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off. Yeah, I got frustrated waiting for a big rainstorm, and I just got sick of the basement being a fucking disaster. This happens to me a lot when when I really need to get one thing done, I get all crazy and I end up doing all the things. It's I don't love it, but it is what it is. And it's done now, and I'm super happy with it. Does that not look cool? Doesn't that look really, like, I don't know. I think it looks really good. When I turn all the lights off and shit in here, it's just super cool. Like, for example, if I come on here, and if I turn off the globe, and then if I turn off the short lamp, and then I can also turn off these guys here, that guy, and that guy. Look at that! Yo, look! Look at it! Isn't that fun? It actually looks cooler with these turned on. The little fakery. So yeah. That's cool. I'm happy. This was a good amount of work. Trying to get the strips cut the exact right length so that there's no gaps, and I was hoping there'd be less of a dead spot here, but unfortunately there is. But I did everything that I possibly could to prevent that. Like I really I tried my best. I promise. Where's that globe at? Globe, turn back on. Why is the globe at 74%? That's such a weird percentage. How about 50%? And then the short lamp. Where's the short lamp? There's the short lamp. We're back, yo. We're back. Now it can rain like hell and then flood again, and I'll have to rip it all apart again. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't will that into existence. In the chat, Frank Dickless was first. The Bruce was second. Bren Lugo, Whoop Fox, Spaceman Spiff. Frank Dickless again, Josh Bergeron, Frosty, FizzPV, CiottiFPV, Matthew W, Tamava, P Money, Sporny, Hendrix Freakazoid, Brent Anderson, Kevin Sumner, Andrew Taylor, Wanna Get Fly. Kevin Sumner says hello from Castle Crash. Holy Christ. He says something for you in events info on Discord. Look at that. Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Who's this? Look at her. Awesome. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm leaving tomorrow. I can't check into the place that I'm staying until I think like 4. We'll see how tonight goes. I still have quite a bit of packing to do. I ran out of time, man. I had. Did something just flash? Let me know if these strip lights start acting weird. They better not. They better not act weird. I've put so much work into them. Good lord. Yeah, there was a bunch of rigs that I wanted to get built for this. Not necessarily built, but like repaired. And it just didn't happen. I decided I'm not going to bring walks. I'm limiting the amount of stuff that I bring, I've decided not to bring Walksnail at all. I've got a bunch of 03 and 04 stuff that's coming. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna bring Walksnail, which is I'm tempted to bring it because the Grinderino is on Walksnail, but I've got this Quadmula Siren F3, which should be good to go on this Naked 03, and so this is fine. Most of, like, last year I flew 60 Tiny Whoop batteries and I think three 3-inch batteries, and that was it. So it's fine. It's the Whoop House is the highlight for me. I am super excited to get this Quadmula rig up in the air though on 03. That's pretty rad. It was great with Walksnail, but the video quality was just not quite good enough. 03 just gives you that little bump in image quality where it's just awesome, man. As long as you don't fly it too late into the dark. It's, you know, the huge difference between 03 and 04 is the low light. The 04 is just insane in terms of low light. And, hey, speaking of, I flew 04 Pro for the first time. Those of you that hang out on my Discord, you already know this. But I finally got the Avata Killer up in the air yesterday. This is a FPV Cycle Cinesplore frame with the Stan FPV ducts. This is set up to be absolutely as light as possible. These motors are the lightest 2004s. They're the Brother Hobby VY 2004 3450 kV. Gemfan 5 blades. I might move this to the Gemfan tri-blades. We'll see. This has Radiomaster XR4, which is a Gemini setup with the dual jib jabs, and then 04 with the double 04 antennas. So it's just all the antennas all the time. So far I'm not blown away by the radio link performance, but I think I need to check. I went, I was standing inside the house. I went all the way down to the end of the street, and I started to go behind the first house, which is always kind of how I test it. And I pretty quickly got a RSSI low warning, which I always get when I do that. So it didn't seem any better, but boy, is it hard when I'm standing inside of the front door. But I think the scaling might be wrong, because the RSSI, the highest I saw RSSI was like up in the 60s, and that ain't right. There's not that, the noise floor is not that bad. It shouldn't be that bad out in front of the house. God only knows what. I want to say it's Xfinity Comcast that they do like Wi-Fi from the, well, we don't have, I was gonna say from the light poles, but we don't actually have light poles in this neighborhood. The lines are all buried. So yeah, I don't know. I've not noticed RSSI that low before on other rigs, so I feel like the scaling might be off. I need to do that. I need to do that little test that's on the ELRS website. But on a 4S 1050 LiPo, this thing got 6.5 minutes. And that was me not like hammering around, because it's not a rig that you hammer around, right? Like to fly Cinewhoops full throttle is silly. It was a lot of elevation changes. I didn't just like fly it at 6 feet above the ground the entire battery. I was going up treetops, down to the street, up treetops, down to the street, up treetops, and I probably did that at least 20 or 30 times. And so what's interesting about that is that was a 4S 1050 mAh battery. The Avata in the real world apparently gets 12 minutes, so almost double, but it's on a lithium-ion battery, which is, I believe it's 1550 mAh. And so this is actually pretty close. Like, if I could get a lithium ion 4S 1500 mAh battery, I think this would do 11 or 12 minutes. No, it would do 10 or 11 minutes. So I'm pretty happy, man. 6.5 minutes is a lot. That's like, you can cover a lot of distance doing that. And it's ultra lightweight. It is absolutely dialed. Like, it is on rails. It just is really, really, really fun to fly at this weight. The all-up weight with the battery is like 395 grams. So sub 400 grams, that means that I can use this on, if I put the waiver in, I can fly this above people, which makes a lot of sense. This is super safe. The props are way down here in the guards. Even if it like hits somebody and comes up like this, there's no way that anything is getting down there into the propeller. It's even safer on the bottom. And you know, like, that doesn't hurt. It's you know, 400 grams at like the 10 miles an hour that you're gonna fly it. It is a very, very safe build. 04 on board. I don't even know what flight controller and ESC. It doesn't matter. And yeah, it flies great. It's got really good power. I was not hammering on it because it was the first battery, so I just wanted to get through that first battery, and then I hadn't charged a second battery, so it was just that one. But I plan on flying this at Castle Crash. I'm hoping to do a big long one-take fly-through when nobody else is up in the air at Castle Crash. Like, come in like as if you're a car, come up to the registration booth, do something, jump over that, show like the actual little castle bit. In theory, I believe Maddie will be doing his awesome artwork in that kind of area. Swing up, show where a bunch of the cars are, show the little food trailer truck things, dive into the trees, show like the main kind of hangout area, maybe fly inside the air-conditioned work on your quads area. And then, yeah, that, like, that'll be like a long flight path. I think that'll be like maybe like a 3 or 4 minute flight, and then you come in, you show where everybody's camping, you show the other flight line, and so yeah, I'm bringing this to do that. And I think I'm gonna do it with this, and then I'm bringing my main Cinewoop that I've used for the last 4 years for like everything, with a Hero 12. I think I'm gonna do the same thing with that. Run the same batteries on both of them. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the whole... I'm going to do it first on this. And then I don't think I'll be able to do the whole route on the other rig. So that'll be kind of cool. You know, that'll be kind of a cool way of showing, like, hey, with a setup like this, with no GoPro on it, with 04 on board, it opens up some different possibilities, right? 6.5 minute runtime versus, I think I usually get like 3 or so minutes on the other build. We'll find out. Yeah, that should be kind of neat. So, super excited to have this up in the air. Didn't do any tuning. It flew totally fine. At some point here, I'll grab a black box log and beg Brandon's Baked Beans to take a look at it to see mainly if we can make it a little bit cleaner. Like if there's any kind of micro oscillations going on, that uses up a little bit of electricity. So I'll ask Brandon if we can make it a little bit more efficient by dialing in the filters, or maybe even backing off the PIDs. I did my standard kind of like crank the D-term slider up to 1.3, I think, and I left the PNI slider at 1.0, and it flew totally fine. I put it into some prop wash and it handled it really well. So yeah, man, the Avata Killer lives. Look at this pancake bastard. It's the least aerodynamic shape you've ever seen. It's weirdly like a little bit more aerodynamic with the battery on it. And I wonder if, I don't know, I wonder if I could take like you can do like super simple vacuum forming with like Coke bottles. You cut a Coke bottle part. I wonder if I could put like a little, do like a super thin Coke bottle that's not going to add a lot of weight, and vacuum it down to make it look like a fucking Avata 2. Really, you know what I mean? Just to give it a little bit of a dome here. I bet you that would give it a little bit more runtime. So yeah, man, the Avata Killer lives. I am bringing some 5-inch rigs. I probably won't fly them. I'm bringing a couple of batteries for them. We'll see. We'll see. Kevin Sumner says, get with me at some point. We can get you a clear channel across the property. Awesome. That'll be super fun. Kevin also says, pretty sure Cindy will let you in early. Pretty sure no one is in there right now. Talking about Kevin knows the people, or has, I don't know, knows them, but like the people that have the cabins. Kevin has talked to them before, and seems like he's established a little relationship with them, which is awesome. In the chat, if you want to talk directly to me, just type CiottiFPV. If you do it, it'll light up an orange for me. You can do that with each other. If you want to get somebody's attention, type their name into your chat message, and for that person, their own name will light up an orange, and then they'll reply back to you. If you tag me, I'll read your comment. If you don't, I won't. So, you know, you have privacy. You can talk all the shit that you want. Steady Eddie says, watching from my tent at Castle Crash, see you, CI when you get here. That's very cool. How are you doing that? Is there Wi-Fi? Oh, right. You're on a hotspot. Very cool. Knows them as much as I rented from her last year, and she was chill. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna put the finishing kind of touches on this thing tonight. Throw the top plate on it, and it should be good to go. This was a working rig before the. All I did on this was swap the Walksnail VTX and camera for 03. That became a lot more of a job when I realized that I wanted to do it with a naked 03, and then I had to get the little I had to get a little kit for it to mount it, so it now has the Newbie Drone naked kit on it. Let me see if I can show that to you. So it's a bunch of like threaded holes with bars connected to them, and there's the side piece there that runs front to back. There's another piece down the bottom there that you can kind of see. There's another piece on top here in the rear that says bottom bar. I actually have it flipped upside down, so my bottom bars are up on top. But yeah, so there's this one bar here. This holds the camera cable in, and then on the other side of this, you just run screws directly through, and then they go into the sidebars. And then I doubt you'll be able to see it, but down the bottom, yeah, you can't see it. There's another top bar that holds the UFLs on. And like, I had just enough room. I've got both of these UFLs wrapping right around here, and then they dump into this mount. And then it gave me just enough space to VHB the ELRS. This is a Beta FPV ELRS receiver here. Super simple, down to the 2.4 antenna. And yeah, there's like just enough room for everything. I wish there was a tiny little bit more room for this MIPI cable, but whatever. It should be okay. And then this is the plug that was plugged into the Walksnail, so I didn't even have to change the plug or anything. I was very tempted to desolder this plug and put a longer one on here so that I could rotate this entire thing. That would have made this camera cable come out the front. It would have had way more room. That would have made these antenna cables come out the rear. They would have had way more room. But as it worked out, there's just enough room. And so, in theory, it'll be all right. I'm a little bit worried that once I start crashing it and shit, I might be ripping antennas off. But, you know, if that happens, we'll kind of deal with it. This is an old school Talon F7 flight controller. I got a whole bunch of these before they went out of stock. And I don't even know what this ESC is. But again, this was a working rig. It was flying, from what I remember, totally fine. And then I have the full-size camera on here. I did not do the naked camera mod because I want to run ND filters. And when you do the naked camera stuff, you can't. And so it's got the slightly heavier camera, but that's totally fine. That'll offset all the weight that's in the rear of this thing. You know, all these new 3-inch, 3.5-inch builds that are set up for digital VTX and camera systems, they all end up being ass heavy, as you can very obviously see here. So having the heavier camera is actually no problem. This thing has gobs of power on these Toka 1505 motors. You can't get these motors anymore, which is a good thing, because the bells and the motor shafts are not laser welded all that well. God damn it. You piece of shit, camera. So yeah, we'll put this into beta flight. We'll make sure the motors are spinning in the right direction. We'll fire the 03 up, get it bound. I might wait to get the 03 bound. Hey! Wait for it. Is that not the happiest fucking song you've ever heard? That's the song that the Bamboo Labs printers play every single time your print is finished. And it's just incredibly satisfying. This thing printed awesome. Look at this. The supports are breaking off on the bed. That's pretty awesome. I love that. Yeah, stay on there, you bastards. Great. Cool. Ugh. Another toilet. We've now got, oh god, we've now got 2 toilets. And see, this one is opened on the bottom, so the little poops will pop right out of it. PETG is great. It's, now that I've got it kind of dialed in, I'm really digging the PETG. You gotta be a little bit careful here when breaking these guys off, because this is where the toilet seat is, and the little hook for the to hook onto the side of the Bamboo Labs thing is kind of not fragile, but fragile. And there we go. The toilet seat even comes down a little bit. The fact that 3D printers can like print hinges that work immediately is just, I just absolutely love it. It's just so cool. So yeah, there we go, man. I've got another toilet. And this will just hook right on the side. The one main thing that I didn't like about the one that's on there is that once it fills up with the little turds, they rattle around when the thing is kind of moving up and down. The little turds rattle around. So now I won't have to worry about that anymore. They'll just fall right out the bottom. Oh, well, that's not going well. I don't think the toilet... Oh, yeah. The toilet seat was not supposed to hinge like that. I'm going to have to print another one. But you can see there's all the little turds in there. There's the little... There's the little filaments. Anybody have a A1 Mini that wants this one? It totally works fine. You just have to pop it off and empty it more often. Yeah, on this one, the toilet seat doesn't move. And so when it hangs from here, it sits like this. That one, it's I'm gonna have to print it again, I think, because that hinge is not supposed to. You know, I'll just fix it with a little piece of VHB. I just put a little piece of VHB on the back of the toilet seat to hold it like this. Because right now, what it's doing is this. It's hanging like that, and that looks silly. Actually, it almost looks like this toilet seat's breaking off. There's a big hinge there. You know what I could do? I think PETG responds really well to crazy glue. I could just run a little bead of crazy glue here, and then I bet you it'll be fine. Because yeah, it looks like it's actually splitting here a little bit. That's kind of a bummer. It is. Yeah, it's splitting there. It's not the hinge. There isn't a hinge. It's just, oh, that's weird. I wonder if that happened when I was pulling those tree supports off. I wonder if I was being a little rough on it. But yeah, man. Isn't that incredibly satisfying? It's not? It is to me. What's happening down here? What happened on the base? Got a little too hot? Interesting. Toilet seat life, man. It's the good life. Look at all those trees. Ooh, look at all these trees, man. Organic tree supports. Actually, no, I don't use organic. I use, well, it does end up using organic, but there's a, I think I use tree support hybrid, and then it picks. It picks whether or not to use the organic tree supports or the regular square supports. It almost always uses the tree supports, though. They're super cool. 3D printing, man. Who'd have thought it was this much fun? Oh, you guys did? Oh, you've been telling me for forever? Oh, shit. You should have told me harder. Sporny says, have a problem with a new Radio Master Pocket. Scroll wheel doesn't show up in beta flight, but works otherwise. Any quick ideas? Otherwise, I'll make a post tomorrow or so. No stress. If it's new, send that shit back, dude. It should work. I mean, well, you do have to assign. I'm assuming that you've assigned that scroll wheel to a channel. Yeah, what are you doing with the scroll wheel? What are you using that for? Whoop Fox says, yes, PETG, ABS, PLA, love super glue. Cool. Yeah, I'm super gluing that shit then. Do I have? I think I ran out of super glue. Got to get another tube. Brian Kirk says, I have a friend with an A1 Mini. Let me know if you haven't sent my last Etsy order. I'd be interested in adding a toilet. I think I have. I got pretty caught up on everything. That's kind of the other thing that's been going on, is I've been getting caught up on absolutely everything. Yep, the only orders came in like a day or two ago, and neither one of them is yours. But maybe there's something else. There's a bunch of stuff that I am adding to the Etsy store. One of the things I'm adding to the Etsy store when I get back is going to be the little tiny whoop stands, the white tiny whoop stands with the little hook for 300 mAh batteries, 450 mAh batteries, and 2S batteries. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of them. I'm bringing loads of stuff I'm bringing an entire bin of stuff to sell at Castle Crash. It's like everything that's on the Etsy store basically, which is cool because I keep it all organized down here in a bin. Why don't I just bring this bin? It's got stickers all over it and everything. That was kind of silly. I should have just picked this bin up, but instead I had. I went to Costco. Every time I go to Costco, I get 3 more of these bins, and so I went to Costco a couple weeks ago, and I got 3 of the bins, and nobody wanted them, so they've just been sitting here. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. 661. 661 says scroll wheel. Scroll wheel is for going through the menus on the radio. I don't think that's something able to be assigned to an output channel, right? Yeah, that's why I was a little confused too. But I'm sure he'll let us know in a minute. What's happening over here? Hey, let me give a couple of shout outs. I have been lax in giving new patron shout outs because it's been absolute mayhem. What can you? Come on. Why are you taking so long to search, Mail? What's your okay? Goddamn computers, man. Okay, I'll just manually scroll through like a fucking caveman. Here. Oh my god, so many eBay emails. eBay alerts are great and all, but Jesus Christ. They send a set of emails at 2 a.m. every single night. It's a lot. Oh my god, why? Why isn't the search working? Oh wow, I gotta spend some time getting caught up on my emails. Chaser FPV, thank you for joining the Patreon, man. Very, very cool. Welcome to the Gangly Gang. Much appreciated, dude. Reframed. Calvin, your vistas are in the mailbox. On their way. CiottiFPV, welcome to the Gangly Gang, brother. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. Really, really appreciate it. If you guys are not patrons and you have a couple extra bucks a month, boy, does it help. And with, you know, Tiny Hands McDouchesaw destroying this country, yeah, money's more tight for people, and my Patreon just continues to kind of do a little bit of this. So if you like this, I would like to think that I've saved you all some money at some point here. A really good way to you know, complete the circle of life is to join my Patreon. You can get on there for as little as $3 a month. I should be saving you at least $3 a month, hopefully. So hopefully quite a bit more than that. Kick a couple of those dollars my way. It makes a huge difference. It is like the closest thing to a paycheck that I have. It's like the one steady thing that really keeps me going. Flying gigs are like, you know, in June I was booked like solid, and then nothing, literally not a single gig in like July or August. So yeah, it's super hit or miss. The Patreon is super important to me. So I really appreciate that you guys, all of you that are on there. If you're not on there, it's the coolest group of people. There's a ton of benefits. You're going to get full access to my Discord, a private YouTube playlist with all kinds of really cool stuff, Patreon only live streams that I've done. And on the Patreon itself, there's a whole bunch of tech articles. At the top there's tags. Click the Tech Talk tag. And then there's also tags like edits and all kinds of cool stuff with like unreleased edits and whatnot. So yeah, $3 a month, or if you want to get in on the giveaways and you don't even have to be at the live streams, the $5 a month tier will enter you to win $40 or $50 or $60 worth of Tiny Whoop toothpick stuff every single month. All you have to do is jump up to that tier and away you go. If you're on the Tiny Whoop tier, but you want to donate $6 a month instead of $5 a month, you can do that. You can just change your dollar amount. So if you have an extra $1 a month, you can go on there, stay on the Tiny Whoop tier. You don't have to go up a tier to donate more. Yeah, much appreciated, friends. CiottiFPV.com has a link to my Patreon and a link to a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Affiliate links, those are super important. Make sure that you use somebody's affiliate links when you buy stuff on the internet. If not, you know, it's money that could be supporting people that make stuff that you watch. There's an Etsy store with some fun stuff. There's a Teespring shop with some fun shirts and other rando apparel. And yeah, that's how you support me, friends. I know there's at least one more though. Let me scroll just for a second and see if I can find the other new patron. There it is, Josh Bergeron. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Gangly Gang, brother. I really appreciate it. Makes a huge difference. I know, you know, it's like, oh, what's my $3 going to do? It really does matter, because a whole bunch of you do $3, and then I can continue to do this full time, and that's the only way I can do as good of a job at this, is because I can do it full time because of your help. Roger Kircher as well. Oh wait, there's a couple. Roger Kircher, welcome to the gangliest of all the gangs, dude. And then Leslie Long, welcome to the gangliest gang in all the world. We are gangly. We are a gang. Fear us. Stamps.com. Get FPV support. This Get FPV order make it? It sure did. I borrowed that from Mighty Car Mods. I stole that from Mighty Car Mods. Go subscribe to their channel. It's the least you can do. Did a little Get FPV order because they finally got the goddamn XR4s back in stock. I swear to God, these XR4s over the last like 4 or 5 months, they would come into stock and I'd be like, awesome. And I would sit down and I would put a cart together, and then I would see something shiny and I'd go running off and do it, and I would forget. Like 2 or 3 days later, I'd come back, I'd see the open tab, I'd be like, oh Christ, I forgot to put that order through. I'd go in there and they'd be out of stock. And then I'd put a out of stock warning, put my email address in there. A couple weeks go by, I get the email, jump on there, great. Put an order together. What's that over there? I swear to God, that happened like 3 times in a row to me, and I finally caught them. So yeah, I got two XR4s. I think this is it. I don't think I'm getting any more of these XR4s. They are really expensive, man. So these are the Radiomaster Gemini compatible. They're basically dual band receivers. So in each one of these XR4s, there are actually two receivers, and each one of those receivers can either do 2.4 or 900, or if you put them into Gemini mode, it runs them both, and I believe this is how it works. I think it runs them both, and it runs them one on 900 and the other one on 2.4, so that and then it probably defaults to the 2.4 because that has lower latency, but then if the 2.4 gets noisy, it can jump over to the 900. Yeah, these XR4s are a little expensive. I think they're like $36 or something like that for a receiver, which is kind of insane. I think I now have 4 of these, which will cover both of the live broadcast rigs. The Avata Killer already has one of these on it. And then my main GoPro carrying Cinewoop is also going to get one of these XR4s. Everything else is getting the XR1s, which are extremely inexpensive. I think they're like $18 or something. And the XR1s are not Gemini compatible, but they come with the dual band antenna, and they will do either 900 or 2.4. You just have to go into the Lua script and switch it. So if you get to a spot and it's on 2.4 and you're flying around and you're getting micro failsafes, or you're just looking at your RSSI or your link quality and they're a little bit low, you can land real quick, go into the Lua, switch it from 2.4 to 900, and get right back up in the air, and maybe 900 will perform better. Or if you're at a spot and you're like, ooh, there's a cell phone tower, I want to dive that cell phone tower, you just switch over to 2.4 because 900 gets blasted by cell towers. Really, really handy. The XR1 is probably all that most people will need, but on these live broadcast gigs, the noise floor is just outrageous. Like, there's wireless microphones all over the place. There's wireless static cameras everywhere. There's a million people with cell phones banging away. It's absurd. And Crossfire just doesn't get the job done. I mean, it can, like, I've been making it work, but sometimes the range is like embarrassing. Like, I've had situations where I can't go farther than a half a block on Crossfire, and that's, you know, that's no good. One of the live broadcast rigs, I actually installed a 2.4 receiver up front, and then it's got Crossfire in the rear, and then I have each one of them on a different UART, so that I could plug into a laptop, hop into Betaflight, or I could probably do it on SpeeDB as well, and then just go in there and switch the UART to switch from 900 to 2.4. I never ended up using that. I just ran it on 900. It was like the backup rig. I never got that on the main AOS Cine rig that's more efficient. It was just on that super durable backup rig. I should have done that, though. I should have swapped it over at some point, and then I could have done some head-to-head testing of 900 against 2.4 in really noisy kind of environments. But hey, now we got Gemini, and we've got the best of all worlds. And in theory, this XR4 setup should work better than DJi's transmitter link. So in theory, the Avata Killer has more range than Avata 2, which is kind of crazy because the Avata 1 and the Avata 2 seem to have infinite range. I snagged an extra one of these really cool little dual band 2.4 and 900 antennas. Again, this thing's been going in and out of stock, in and out of stock, in and out of stock. And then I grabbed one extra Happy Model 1103 11,000 kV motor for the everything is packed, so I don't have anything to hold up in front of the camera, but that is for the Mobula 704. It's currently in the stock frame with different motors. But at some point, when DJi sends me back my other '04 Lite, I'll be able to rebuild the BT 3.0 75 millimeter 2S rig. Um, uh, and then I'll take the Mobula 7 '04 stack, which has the XT30, and I'll put that back where it belongs in the Mobula 8 2-inch frame, which is what these motors are for. I've crashed that thing pretty hard now, and so there might be like one, maybe even two motors that need replacing. Having the extra motor is just so nice. You know, spin all the motors up, get an idea for you know which one is the most vibey, and then you just swap that motor out with a fresh one, and you see how much different it is. And so, yeah, this is, I can't believe I didn't have an extra one of these. I only got 4 of these motors because I didn't know if 11,000 kV was going to be enough. It is more than enough on the 2-inch props. So this is super good to have. And then I realized something when I was doing this order. Oh, look at me. Captain prepared. I think the front 2 motors might need to be replaced. So I snagged another one. The other reason I did this is that I'm going to kind of stop flying that so hard. The 2-inch one, I'm going to stop flying it so hard, and it's going to be more of a cinematic rig because I now have both of the Flywoo canopies with ND filters. And then there's this other canopy. I forget where this is from. I think this is a little bit too flimsy. It's nice and lightweight, but and then I've got the '04 ND filter set from Flywoo. So the 2-inch '04 light rig is going to become more of like a cinematic kind of setup, so I can use these ND filters. I was just so unbelievably impressed by how it performed when I was in Long Beach, California. But unfortunately, with no ND filter and me flying like in the middle of the day, just whenever I had some spare time, because that trip was not about FPV, it was about Maggie and I hanging out. There was lots of jello, and I had to really, in the edit, I had to really cut around. Hey, patrons, you guys have access to that edit. I haven't put it up publicly for anybody else. So if you really want to be impressed by '04 Lite and then 2S 2-inch Tiny Whoops, that's the edit to watch. Yeah. Having an ND filter set up on there is kind of important. And so that's where that 2-inch rig is going to go. The 75 millimeter 1.6-inch prop rig, that's going to be the basher. That's going to stay with the Happy Model canopy that the Mobula 7 '04 comes with, and that's going to be the one that I just beat the living hell out of. So yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool to have like a cinematic 2S 2-inch Tiny Whoop that's still like. What's really cool about that is that even though it's 2S, even though it's 2-inch, even though, yeah, sure, it does make a little bit more noise than smaller Tiny Whoops, smaller, less powerful, lighter weight Tiny Whoops, it still looks like a little tiny kid's toy, and it still doesn't make enough noise that anybody gives a shit. I ripped that thing all over the place, blasting past security guards left and right. Nobody gave a shit. You fly it up to somebody, they go, ah, instead of, oh. And so, yeah, man, I'm so in love with that build. I really can't wait to get it, to get this '04 Lite back. I would love to find somebody selling an '04 Lite, because I have this Tune RC board ready to go. So if you guys see anyone selling an '04 Lite for not like, you know, $7,000, definitely let me know, because it would be super nice to either get that rig back up in the air or get this 3-inch build on my frame up in the air with the Tune RC Poly, whatever the hell it is. And that setup, I think, will be on 4S. I might drop down to 3S. We'll see. Initially, I think I'm going to build it on 4S. Apparently, that Tune RC Poly board can handle it, and everybody says everybody but one person says that it's like the most durable AIO ever. But yeah, I'm not maybe I could do that build with Walksnail just for the time being, but I'm really excited to do that build with the 04 Lite. Doing that setup with Walksnail, I'll use one of the heavier Walksnail schlip schlaps, and it'll be a little fat. I was really looking. I was really excited to see how light that could kind of be, and maybe even run it on a 2.5-inch prop. And then the last thing that I did, I had kind of a cool thought when I was placing this order. Up until this point, when there was a motor that I really wanted to check out, I would have to order 4 of them. Sometimes if I thought it was going to be a good motor, I would order 5 of them, because ordering 4 motors is a death sentence. You're immediately going to crash hard on the maiden and blow one of the motors up. But what I realized on this order is that with Black Box and with cool friends like Brandon's Baked Beans, they're willing to look at Black Box logs, since I'm just a Black Box dunce. I think that we can take one motor, we can buy one single motor, put it onto a build, fly it around, and then look at the Black Box logs and see if that motor is consistently being underdriven or maxed out in the log, to know whether or not that motor makes more or less power. And realistically, that's all we care about. You know, like we know enough about stator sizing nowadays and about KV where we can get really close to like the perfect motor on the first shot. But then, you know, there's going to be like an RC and Power 1404, and then there's going to be a Skystar 1404, and there's going to be a T-Motor 1404. And so it's hard not to be like, well, I wonder which one makes the most power, and I wonder which one is the most efficient. I'm super curious about what we can, if we can figure anything out about efficiency. But the first step is just to see if we can reliably tell whether or not one motor makes more power. And so what I did is I got one single RC and Power 1003 10,000 kV motor. And this is, oh, why is it that ugly yellow and red color? I swear to God, I ordered it in the, I could have swore I ordered it in the pink and teal. Trans rights colors. That's kind of annoying. But I can drop this onto, so what is this, a 1003? So this is a 1003 10,000. So this is going to go onto the Mobula 704 initially here, and then I can also run it on the 2-inch rig with the 1103s. And we'll see. We'll see, you know, like if it's being underdriven by a lot or overdriven by a lot, we'll know that there's a big difference between it and the other motors. I have to assume that if I get a good hover and then just slowly increase the throttle, I have to assume that we'll be able to see, you know, one motor is totally different. We'll be able to see either the PID loop is pushing full tilt on that motor the entire time, or if it's pushing full tilt on the other motors to try to get them to keep up with this one. I absolutely can't believe that I'm just sort of realizing this now, but better late than never. This could save me an absolute ton of money when I do motor testing. And it also might be a better way of doing the motor testing, because, like, you know, building 2 identical rigs, there's all kinds of room for fuckery in there, right? Because you've got 2 different ESC. Even if I use the same ESC, we know that these things blow up so often. And then, like, God knows what other issues there are. Versus when I take a build, I fly it a bunch, and then bring it in and swap the motors as quick as I can, put it right back in the air. There's all kinds of variability there, right? So this might actually be a really good way of doing motor testing. So we'll see. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm not doing this at Castle Crash, though. We're going to do this when we get back. So I'm going to put this thing aside here, and yeah, away we shall go. So that could be really cool. And I'm trying to talk myself into being okay with the motor colors here. They're yellow and red, which is kind of like the Burger King, Micro King vibe that we've got going. So maybe it's okay. But yeah, RCN power 1003, 10,000 kV. I've already tested the RCN power 1003, 22,000 kV. Uh, it's way too amp hungry for 1S. And then it's too high of a kV, even with a ton of motor limiting for 2S. So this motor in 22,000 kV is pretty confusing. I don't know of. Look, if you run a big enough 1S battery, it's gonna be like 850 mAh or like 1,000 mAh. I don't even know if they make 1S batteries that big, but if they do, it's not a good idea. Like, that is pushing 1S way too far, and there's going to be so much efficiency loss in trying to take that little amount of voltage and make this much power with it, that it's just not going to make any sense. It's I'm sure that they made that motor for like a specific build, for like some 1S toothpick build, right? Like the 1S toothpick builds were like the coolest thing in the world for a year. You know, they were like the ultra hype train. And then eventually people kind of figured out like this is not the way to do it. Like we're asking way too much from 4.35 volts when it's fresh, and immediately sags down to like 3.8, right? And most, I'm not gonna say most, but a lot of people have moved away from those 1S toothpicks. You know, if you build a 1S toothpick and then you build a 2S toothpick, your brain is going to melt out your ears, because the 2S toothpick is going to have more power, better response time, and more runtime. It just, you know, every amount of battery voltage has a limit. And as far as I'm concerned, the limit for 1S is like a 65 millimeter 0702 motored whoop. Anything bigger than that, you know, we've had some decent luck with the 1.4 inch builds here, but they definitely lack response time compared to the lighter 1.2 inch setups. And then, you know, the Mo FPV tree toppers are pretty damn good on a lightweight, if you keep it super light, 1.6 inch prop, 75 millimeter motor to motor build. But really, the 1S voltage for like lightning quick response time, like what you get with 5-inch builds on 6S, it's a 1.2 inch prop on a 65 millimeter frame. Like that's really where 1S shines the most. If you go any bigger than that, bumping up to 2S makes a massive difference. Like it's, if you haven't done it, you deserve it to yourself to do it. And if you want to stay super light, BT 3.0 is pretty magic. And so, yeah, more like one by one, I get messages from people. Oh my God, you were so right about 2S. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's the same thing as with 5-inch rigs when we went from 4S to 6S, you know? And like, when you look at like the amount of time and effort that 5-inch builds had put into them by our FPV community a number of years ago, it's the same thing that we're kind of going through with tiny whoops. You know, 5 or 6 years ago, everybody started building 5-inch rigs, and so we had thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying all different combinations. And before too long, we realized that 4S was not enough voltage, and the jump up to 6S gave us more power and more runtime. Tiny whoops were not very popular back then because the motors were brushed and they would pull hair in, and it was just a pain in the ass. 3, maybe 4 years ago, the brushless motors popped up, and then we started to figure out what the right sizing was, what the right KV was. And so, you know, we've been on this huge period of time here where tiny whoops have been flying better and better and better and better and better. It makes sense that we're starting to figure out, hey, yes, 1S is totally fine for these ultra lightweight little guys, but once we step up, 2S is kind of the way to go. So yeah, we're there. Join me. I have cookies. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we're actually going to dive into this. Yeah, because we're done with mailbag now. We're going to dive into this guy and get things rolling here. I'm not bringing this with me, so let's put this over here. All right. Brian Kirk says just joined finally. Joined the live stream or the Patreon. Either way, thank you. Captain Calgary says, thoughts of a build I'm about to do. 2S Mobulate frame with 03 air unit and a Goku F405 HDIO Robo 1202.5 55. That is too low. I can already tell you that's too low of a KV on the motor. And a 3D printed bracket for the 03. So 03 air unit on there is going to be really heavy. That is going to be a fat 2-inch build. 1202.5 is an okay motor size, but 5500 kV is way too low. So yeah, you need a motor that's like 10,000 kV, if not more, because the 03 air unit, even a naked 03 air unit, is going to be really, really heavy on there. That's also not going to be a freestyle rig, because the double stack 03 air unit is going to make that thing really tall, and that's going to make a big lever arm on the canopy. So that's going to be like a cruising or like a cinematic kind of rig. So yeah, you that combination right now is, I don't even know if it'll get off the ground with motors that are that low of a KV. Maybe you could find like a 5-blade 2-inch prop or something like that to make up for that low ass KV. The problem there is going to be that's going to be a really heavy propeller, so you're going to lose a lot of response time rather. So yeah, that I would highly recommend that you massage that build and just bail on those motors, unless you wanted to go 3S. If you went 3S, I don't even know if 3S is going to work. 5500 kV is really low. But yeah, going 3S would help, although there's no way to put a 3S battery in that Mobulate frame. So, well, I mean, I guess you could cut the battery bay all up and like put a rubber band or a Velcro strap in there or something like that. But yeah, try to find a motor that's around that same size, 1202.5, 1103, that kind of size motor, and you're looking for minimum 10,000 kV. If you want to hit the easy button, the Happy Model 1103, 10 or 11,000. 11,000 kV motors, they will be way better than those 1202.5 5500s. But the build that I have those motors on has the 04 Lite, which is probably 15, maybe 20 grams lighter than that 03 is going to be. I don't know what the 03 air unit and camera weighs when it's like fully nakedized. I'm assuming that you're gonna fully nakedize it. And so yeah, bare minimum for motors are gonna be those Happy Model 1103 11,000s. But you should look for a motor that is either bigger stator volume or higher KV. Because again, that 03 air unit's going to be heavy as hell. Brian Kirk says, I have a friend. Oh no, we got that. What's happening here? Come on now. There we go. Striker's in the house. He says, hello, planning on Rampage this year or no? I'm considering it honestly, despite of how shitty of a company Rotor Ride is. They have not invited me this year, and I can't really afford to go. You know, I've been to every Rampage so far. Even if I could afford to go, I don't really know if I would. It would be kind of cool to go as a totally like as a participant. But yeah, I have a hard time supporting them. And the tickets are unbelievably expensive. And so yeah, and unless like last minute, because I think it's coming up. I guess is it next month? I guess I don't even know. Unless last minute they say, hey, will you come and run Micro Mayhem, I will not be going this year. But again, I've gotten to go to all 3 or all 4, however many rampages there have been. So I'm super lucky for that. And it's okay. It's totally fine. FizzPV says, which antenna on the Hummingbird V4 is the one I replace with the ORT, the long or the short one? Where the hell is the Hummingbird? It's here. Should be the long one. So it's the big plug is the easy way to put it. But yeah, it's the longer, thicker antenna. That's what she said. We are going to fly a couple batteries tonight because I want to make sure that these 2 guys, as a part of Castle Crash prep, are ready to go. Brian Kirk says, I have an 04 Lite that I can lend you until yours is back. I appreciate it, but I'm gonna break it, and so I don't want to borrow one. Jamie offered to let me borrow an extra 04 Lite that she had, and I was like, nah, I don't want to break it on you, especially because I break it and then I have to somehow try to find one to buy to replace it. And so yeah, I appreciate that, but I need to buy one because it's gonna get the hell hammered out of it. Brian Kirk also says, stickers are red from humidity when I took it outside after being 68 degrees AC and out into the humid air at the bench. You tripped. No shit, you tripped the. I didn't even notice that it had one of those. What are they called? Water reactive stickers. The stickers that they use to deny you warranty coverage on stuff because they claim that it got wet. That's wild. That it tripped that sticker from being super cold in the air conditioner and then going outside into swampy humidity. That's ridiculous. Cold Power says, I'm here. You're welcome. Brian Kirk says, just join the Patreon. Thank you, dude. Very cool of you. Welcome to the gangliest of all the gangs in all the ganglands. There you are. Thank you, dude. Very cool. Very, very cool. Tell your friends, yo. Tell your friends. If you've got friends that want to support people in this hobby that are, figuring Tiny Whoop stuff out and telling people what sucks and what doesn't, bring them on over. Let's build this thing up. We've been, this channel has done this over the years, and it's interesting. It does this like kind of with the economy and like with things that are happening, which makes a lot of sense. And America is most certainly doing this right now. And so I'm unfortunately a part of that. And so let's keep it going, man. The Whoop thing, especially with all the regulations, like, come on now. Everybody in FPV needs to be diving into Tiny Whoop stuff right now to be ready for inevitably when these assholes realize that they can make money by banning us from flying outside. And that's going to cause a lot of people to just bail, right? Like, when that happens, a lot of people just lose hope. They're like, nope, I only want to fly outside. So many people don't realize how good this current generation of Tiny Whoops are inside the house. And so, like, if you've got friends that haven't dove into the Tiny Whoop world yet, get their asses into it. Let them borrow one of your builds for a little while and fly it around their house. Explain to them that it is incredibly difficult to fly around the house so that they don't get frustrated. I've seen that quite a bit. Let's get as many people that are into FPV into Tiny Whoops so that we don't lose a ton of people. Like that sucks. We don't want that. Let's try to lose as few people as we possibly can. So many people that have fallen in love with Tiny Whoop over the last year or two. I've heard, either they've messaged me directly or like I see you guys kind of talking in the Discord of just like, I don't even need to go outside and fly anymore. Like, I'm having more fun and flying more batteries for, more of my day by just doing it at home. It's just, some people are pretty hardcore, like 5-inch or nothing. And it's like, for a while that was true. Absolutely. 5 years ago, for sure. Tiny Whoops flew like shit. 5-inch rigs read your mind. But nowadays, a proper lightweight Tiny Whoop build, it It's got all the response time that it needs, and you just got to get good, to be really honest. Like, you just got to fly them a bunch inside the house to get good enough where you can do a lot of the stuff that you were doing outside. So let's get everybody tiny whooping. Cole Power says, does the batwing work with the camera on the Hummingbird V4? Yes. I have one. At one point I built 4 of the Batwing RC drift car chasing builds to compare the cameras. One of them had a CO3, one of them had a Newbie Drone BI, which is the camera that you're asking about. One of them had the Runcam Nano 3, and then the other one had the FXT camera, the new Mobula 6 2024 camera. And so, yes, absolutely, the Newbie Drone BI will work in the standard Batwing for. On my Etsy store, it's listed as like for use with 10mm lenses or 12mm lenses. You'll see. There's a Batwing for Walksnail. There's a Batwing for Runcam Nano 3. And then there's the other, there's the 04 Batwing, and then there's this like generic Batwing with like the big lens hole in it. That's what the BI drops right into. Captain Calgary says, yep, naked eyes. Okay, higher KV, got it. Yeah, just a cruiser. Thanks again, you rock. Awesome, man. Ginger, if you have any other questions about it, just message me anywhere. Ginger FPV says, hey, I made the move. Have you seen Boise, Idaho? It's really cool. Being in a shelter sucks, but it's a motel. Hope you're doing okay. I'm having a hard time with the move. Yeah, moving's hard, dude. Everybody has a hard time with moves. Smash through. You got it. It's good things. I love that you said Boise, Idaho is really cool. That's awesome, man. That's exactly it. That's what your focus is on. You're going to meet some new people. It's going to be awesome, but it's going to be hard for a while. The best things in life are almost always really difficult, and so you're in that. So smash through, man. You got it. Sporty, Ginger also says, also my pocket died, but someone here gave me a new one. Holy cow, what are the chances? There you go, man. Awesome. Love that. Cole Power says, I printed a few for FizzPV, and it just seemed a little tight on my Hummingbird V4, but that's what he has. Yeah, the Batwing was designed to fit the camera lens as like tight as realistically possible so that it won't move around in there. Make sure that you don't just like when you mash a camera into this goes with all the canopies. When you mash the camera in there, make sure that when you take that camera out, you don't yank it by the board. You can rip that board right off the lens, push it from the lens, right? Like up here, when you ram the camera in, push the lens out like this. Don't yank the board out. Yeah, we wanted it to fit as tight as it could realistically before it caused issues. Fragnical says 04 Air unit on Amazon fulfilled by no way. 152. Oh man. Oh, it's 33 extra dollars. Oh, you thieving whores. Oh, that's the 35% tariff, isn't it? Yeah. That's just the 35% tariff. Oh, fuck. $120 is such a good price for the 04 Lite, especially considering how fragile they seem to be. 153. Oh man. Well, the trader in chief is never gonna drop the tariffs unless someday someone actually tells him how tariffs work, and then he'll be like, oh boy, am I dumb and ugly and awful and a Nazi. So they're never going to be $120 again, are they? But I have the one that's stuck at DJi. Ooh, that's tough, man. $152.90. Ooh, I'm gonna leave this tab open and I'm gonna mull that over. Good call, Frank. Good find. Thank you, dude. I can't believe that I can't believe that we can actually buy it right now. Wanna Get Fly says, what motors is the Siren F3 running? They are Mamba Toka 1505 3800. Please make the text smaller. 3800 kV. You can't get these motors anymore, which is good because the motor shaft and bell are not laser welded together all that well. And so these motors have a terrible habit of the bells ripping off. Literally every single time before I fly this thing, I grab the motors and pull on the bell to see how much play there is. Because the more you fly it, the more play, and eventually they just rip right off. Unfortunately, these are a great motor size and a great KV. When you pair these motors with the Gemfan 3052, which is kind of the best of the 3-inch propellers, it makes mega power. And the response time is awesome, and it's such a nice combination. When I got a set of these motors and I realized how good they were before I realized they ripped bells off the motor shafts, I bought a bunch of them. And then somebody actually sent me a whole bunch of them too. So I must have I think I have a dozen of these motors. So when they rip the bells off and I can't find them, I just swap the motor out, and I'll just keep doing that until I run out. But it's kind of a bummer because I can't fly the thing super, super hard because I have to always worry about a motor bell ripping off at any given moment. So I have to kind of chill with it, but it is what it is. Frank says delivery early next week. Wild. Whoop Fox says I've been running an Air 75 with 0702 screamers. Those are 32,500 kV and 300 mAh batteries inside. It's a lot of fun. Comes in at 20 grams. That is a lot of propeller and a lot of weight for a 702 motor. For me, the 702s run out of steam on the 1.4 inch props. When I go another step up to 1.6, I can't handle how slow the response time is. But that's just me. I have impossible standards. If you like the way that something flies, fly the shit out of it. Dave S says, Flywoo was selling them. Are they out now? Somebody else said that, and then I went on their website. I think I actually still have it opened in a tab here, and there were none for sale. They did have a replacement service. Yeah, look, the tab is still opened. They didn't you could buy just the camera, but you couldn't buy the actual VTX, and it looks like it's still like that. But what I was more interested in is an email that came through from Flywoo, where it seemed like they were repairing the 04 Lite cameras for really cheap. I think it said $14 or $16 or something like that. And so yeah, look, they're selling the little coaxial connector thing, right? So I think that they're repairing them, which is pretty amazing. And so, yeah, if I can get the one that I sent to DJi for repair months ago back, I'll be in really good shape. Maybe it's in the support center section. No, I don't know. I saved the email, but yeah, I don't see where you can actually buy them on here. What really annoys me is that if I'd known that DJI was going to hold my shit hostage, I wouldn't have sent it to them, and I could have just bought this camera, because apparently the VTXs damn near never die. It's always the cameras that explode on the 04 lights. And so, yeah, that's frustrating. Where are we at here? Dave, no, we got that. You Can FPV says, I just ordered one from Flywoo for 120-ish. How? How are you doing that? How are you guys ordering these? But keep in mind that Flywoo is overseas, so if you're ordering it from them for 120, you're going to get whacked with a tariff, I believe. And I think that is then going to be... But see, I guess that's the question here, too, is where is this shipping from? If this is shipping from overseas, it's going to be 153, and then you're going to get banged on the 35% douchebag tax. So, yeah. Can we maybe click Luxzilla here and see if they're shipping from... See if they're shipping stateside? I don't know if it says anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. Brian Kirk says $80. Sold. If you're willing to sell that 04 light with the red sticker for $80, I will 100% buy it. 100%. Frank Nicholas says Gep RC has them in stock. 109. What? That's less. What the hell? How is it 109? I'm sure that Gep RC is shipping from overseas, so yeah, you're gonna get banged on tiny hands tax. Wow. So they're coming back into stock, it looks like. That's super interesting. So now the game becomes, how long do you wait, right? Like, it looks like they're coming back into stock, and so do you wait for Get FPV to get them, and for them to put them in $130 with no tariff bullshit here in like 3 days, right? Isn't FPV great? Good Lord. Frank Nicholas maybe dropping the... Look at that! Look at that! I couldn't... What? They don't have it in their What's New section. That's super weird. Man. So yeah, a couple websites. 3 websites having them in stock. That's awesome. Because, man, the 04 Lite is magic. And, like, for that price, Jesus. Like, even for $150, like, that does make it significantly more expensive than the Walksnail Lite. But good Lord, is it better than the Walksnail Lite. It's more durable. The image quality is way better. The link is way better. Like, boy, it blows. Like, the Walksnail Lite is really impressive. It's scary how many I've had fail on me. 4 in like the span of 3 or 4 months. Some of them with like practically no crashing. But boy, when it works, is it really good. I still have a 1S 75mm build with the Beta FPV 1102 22,000s with a Walksnail light in it. And I also still have a little RC drift car chasing setup with the Walksnail light, which I'm really tempted to change this into a freestyle rig, but I had that freestyle build with this and I never flew it because it got like 1 minute and 50 seconds runtime, and the latency made it really hard to fly inside, and then it was really heavy, right? So I guess this will stay like this, but when am I going to fly Walksnail? I'll tell you when I was going to fly Walksnail, which was at the old RC Drift Car place when they had the big ass TVs with HDMI set up, and I could just plug HDMI into the Walksnail goggles. These ones, right? With the, they've got USB out, and you can run the USB out to HDMI. And like, it's not a completely clean output. It has your OSD on it, but who cares in that setting? You know, so like I could never use this for like an actual live broadcast gig, but for just screwing around, really, really cool, you know? But at some point here, I'll get the Cosmos streamer setup going. And then I might sell the Walksnail stuff. Like, it feels weird to do that because it is really good, and when it works, and like it's, you know, it's kind of every bit as good as the old school Vistas, but better quality, right? 1080 instead of 720. The problem with saying that is the old school Vistas, you could hit with a freight train and they would just not die. They're just invincible. Walksnail stuff is absolutely not invincible. Walksnail stuff is like as durable and reliable as anything else in FPV, which is not all that durable and reliable. So that's tough, you know? When I sent a box to Walksnail for them to fix it, for them to fix the contents, there were 8 Walksnail camera VTX combos in there. Like, they're not super durable, they're not super reliable, and that's tough. Yukon FPV says shipping from China. What's shipping from China? Yukon FPV says my Flywo order hasn't shipped yet. Interesting. I wonder if they're putting them in stock, like in anticipation. That would be kind of annoying. Yukon FPV says there were 8 left when I ordered on the 25th from Flywo, so that was 2 days ago. Interesting. I wonder what's going on. Let's dive in over here. Wait, no. What time is it? 11:30? Man, I don't have anything set up. We're gonna do. I don't want to dig the batteries out, or the goggles out. Rather, I'm just gonna get this thing bound at Castle Crash. Let's put it into. Let's put it into Betaflight real quick and just make sure that the motors are going to turn and that they're turning in the right direction and all that jazz. So let's just do that real quick here with this thing. And then I can slap the top plate on it and it'll look like a quad and we can weigh it and shit like that. So super quick here. Hit that. Do I have a battery with an XT30 floating around? Let's use one of these little 2S guys. I love having these 2S XT30 batteries floating around because, like, they kind of don't have enough power on a rig that's meant for 4S here to, like, hurt anybody or anything, which is kind of great. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to go to motors, and we're going to just fire them up right here. So we're going to page up for 10%, page up again for 20%. For some reason, one of these motors ain't spinning. What's happening here? Motor 4. Oh, boy. Oh, come on now. Don't be like that. Oh, don't you dare tell me that this ESC is blown up. No, I can feel that the motor has some resistance. So... Oh, well, no, of course it has resistance because motor braking is turned on. Shit sticks. Oh, fuck off. Really? Well, I will change the motor out just to check, but the other motors I want to see. Oh, maybe this battery just doesn't have enough. Oh, wait, no, none of it. A bunch of these motors aren't spinning. No. 2S battery is just not enough. Hold on. I might have even over discharged this 2S battery. Let me check that super quick just to make sure that I'm not ruining a battery right now. Total voltage 7.70. No, that's fine. 3.85 per cell. Let's what was that? Oh. Let's try a storage voltage 4S battery. I've got one right in, not in front of myself. Come on. What? Where? Yeah. We'll use this big bastard. Please spin the motors. Wow, that's so much louder. Holy Christ. All right. Let's see here. Master slider, page up for 10%. Oh, there we go. Now we're talking. All right, so we're just going to arrow up a little bit and see. Oh my God, motor number 3 is ruined. Holy shit. Oh my God, look at motor number 3. Look at this motherfucker. I'm so glad I did this. Homie is wrecked. Okay, so I need to at least switch out that motor bell. Here's motor 4 right in front of us. He's looking all right. Motor 2, how you living? You're living fine. Motor 1. Motor 1's not loving life either. Motor 1 is approaching hammered ass status. But this motor back here, I think this is the one that the bell ripped off of. And I hammered it back on in the trunk of my car. And so it makes a lot of sense that this thing is wobbling like a son of a bitch. Well, awesome. That would have caused mega jello with 03. Yeah, so the way that I'm doing this is I'm just using the arrow up and down keys. And so when you do that, well, when I zoom the thing in, right? So all you do is put your clicker over this and then arrow up, arrow up. I guess you have to click it. Yeah, click it and then arrow up, arrow up, arrow up, arrow up, arrow up. And you can get them spinning super slow. You got to go up. You got to go up a little bit higher first to get it over that initial jib-jab. But then you can get them to spin impossibly slow. And then that's one of the ways that you can see if the motor shaft is kind of bent. Handy dandy little trick. The keystroke for zooming in and out here on the Mac is the same keystroke that Betaflight uses to turn the motors off in like a panic kind of situation. And so every time I zoom in or out, it disconnects. Okay, so I need to replace either that entire motor or, at the very least, the motor bell. Other than that, you know, I didn't check if they're spinning the right direction. Unbelievable. Okay, master slider. Crank it up. Motor... What? Why are they not... Oh, it's props out. Right, of course, because it's a freestyle outdoor build. Yep, props out. Cool. Motors are spinning the right direction. We're good. Again, this is a working build. I just wanted to check those couple of things. Really glad that I did. Jesus, that motor is wrecked. So I can throw the top plate on this thing. Here, look. It's going to look like a quad, yo. And we're going to weigh it. Because I believe this Naked 03 could be a little bit lighter than the Walksnail setup. I don't know. The Walksnail setup is a single board. This is a double board. But this is a Naked 03, so maybe it's pretty light. So I've got the 03 specific camera cage on here, which is 3D printed, which I don't love, but I trust Quadmula. And so just gotta get that in there. What are you doing? Get in there. Come on, man. Is that not... That doesn't look like it's sitting flat. Am I just blind? Yep, I'm just blind. Okay, so there's 2 screws missing, but other than that, it's all together. Why is this? Hold on, what's happening here? Is that wire pinched? Don't be pinched. It's not pinched. That's not pinched. Why is this not sitting down? The top plate is... Oh, there it goes. It was sitting up on the screws. So this is the rig that I did all of that heat transfer tape on the 03. And good God, is this carbon fiber base plate boiling hot right now, which is a good thing, because that means that like the 6 layers of heat transfer tape that I had to put on this thing to beef it up for the little cage is still working. I didn't know if like the heat transfer tape needed just to be 1 layer for it to be effective. Certainly not. This carbon fiber base plate is a heat sink right now for sure. That's really nice. You can see the layers. You can see all the layers of the heat transfer tape there in the front. It's that white shit below the 03. But it's working, man. Yeah, look at that. Look at all those layers of it. It's working. And the roll that you buy comes with it, like, it lasts forever because you only use a tiny little bit of it at a time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's weigh it, man. Let's see what this thing weighs. Let me grab one of the 4S850s that I like to run on this thing. It's already got the battery strap on it. I use the Quadmula battery strap, which is like really big and really heavy, and it's got a metal buckle. But it's a nice thick battery strap, and it says Quadmula, and I don't really need this thing to be any lighter, so it's whatever. It weirds me out to run such a heavy battery strap, but the extra weight is totally fine on this thing. So we are at 168 with no propellers, with 4 propellers and propeller screws. We are at 177. And then I think these 4S850s are 80 grams. I can't do the math, so I'm not going to say yes or no. 275.4, so it did gain a little bit of weight with the 03. I think that's because of the 03 camera on the front is kind of heavy. 275, I actually really like that for a 3-inch build. That weight also does work on a 3.5-inch build, but it is a little bit floaty. 3.5-inch builds, I really like them at 300 to like 330 grams. That's when it starts to feel sort of like normal, rather than super floaty. So yeah, man, this weight is just about perfect. This is right where I like 3-inch rigs to be for maximum sort of huckability, where it's got enough weight where you can hammer the throttle. Hopefully you've got a set of motors that makes good power, and then you can jump off the throttle and it'll actually fly up over trees and whatnot. So yeah, the weight is right where it should be. Very cool. Capital C says, are you going to run it props in? I am not. This rig does not have any problems dropping elevation. Typically, freestyle rigs that look like this, right? Like school bus design is what we sometimes call this frame style. Yeah, they don't have any issues when you want to drop altitude. You can do dives in any orientation, and they drop fairly clean. And that is really the main reason to do props in. The reason to do props in is that for whatever reason, the build winds up. The motors wind up when you try to do dives. And then going props in can help that behavior quite a bit. In most cases, it completely fixes that behavior. It's kind of wild. But yeah, this doesn't have that problem. And so I'm going to run props out so that if I hit a little branch, in theory, it'll push it away. Props Props in is a tool to fix that one pretty specific kind of thing. If you're not running into that problem, don't run props in, because there are a couple of kind of subtle negatives to running props in, especially if you're a racer and you're doing really hard like funnel turns like this. Props out actually shares the load between the two rear motors, which is super nice when you're both yawing and rolling in the same direction. I'm trying to think if I should desolder this entire motor and just swap a whole new motor on. I think I'm going to do that, because that takes barely more time than swapping the bell. And there's a good chance that I beat the living shit out of the stator on this thing when I was ramming the bell back on in a half-assed manner, just to try to get another couple batteries out of it when I was in Alpharetta flying. So yeah, I'll... Man, I had left these motors out, too, because I knew this was going to happen. But then I then put them away, and so now I got to dig them back out. Yikes. Here, I'll show you the bag of these motors that I have. Oh, son of a bitch. Did I leave it out? Did I just open... No, here it is. No, these aren't them. Ah, here they are. Teddy, why are you sniffing my face so violently right now? What do you think you're gonna get out of this interaction? All right, there we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey. Yeah, look at this. Look at all these Toka 1505s I have. Ooh, and I actually have a spare bell sitting in here. But no, I'm going to swap the whole motor out. This one in good shape? Yeah, this one's in good shape. And there's not a lot of movement. If you should be doing this often. You should be, as often as possible, grabbing your motor bells and pulling on them. If there's a prop on it, you grab the prop and just pull on it. And just see how much play there is. There should always be a little bit of play. But not very much. It should just be a little bit. And I think I'm going to throw that stator out, because there's a really good chance that I beat the shit out of it. And hurt the bearings in it. All right, cool. That's the first thing I'm going to do at the end of the live stream. Dave S says we better bench test first. What do you mean? Whoop Fox says I got a set of them Flash 3052. Pumped to try them out. My go-to props now are the Wind Dancers. How do you like the 3052s? 3052s are the best 3-inch props that I've ever found. The Wind Dancers are okay, but they're super fragile. The 3052s, I would not call the 3052s durable, but they're not fragile either. They're somewhere in between. All right, we're caught up. Couple batteries, and I think it's almost 12. Yeah, cool. This is going to be the last live stream until Monday of next week. I'm driving to Castle Crash tomorrow during the day, and I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, into Monday. I'm driving home after I leave the cabin Monday, and so Monday night there will be a live stream, and I think it's going to be a giveaway live stream, isn't it? Yep, it's the 1st of September, so Monday will be a giveaway live stream. So get onto Patreon, get onto one of the tiers where you can win some stuff, and then when you win, it'll pay for the extra couple of dollars. You know, it's the giveaways are usually between $30 and like $60 or $70 worth of stuff. So do it. Uriel says, what do I have to know this weekend? Meaning of life? I'll go with meaning of life. You need to know it this weekend. What was I just going to do? Fly! We're flying. Hey, when I get back, we're going to do a comparison. I'm actually not bringing this because I don't want to destroy it. This is the Mobula 6 2024 version 2 with the motor plugs. that I converted up to a 1.4-inch build. When I get back, we are going to test... These have the same motors on them? They don't, but that actually could be cool. 0702 32,500 kV motors with the 1.5mm motor shafts and the HQ 1.4-inch tri-blades versus... I'll be damned, they are the same motors. 0702 32,500 with the Gemfan 35mm S bi-blade propellers, 1mm motor shafts. I'm super excited. I've never tested these propellers against each other in a fair way. It's always been like, you know, the bi-blades are on a Beta FPV 0702 27,000 kV motor, and then these are the, you know, I've tried these propellers on a bunch of different motors, and it's kind of obvious that the tri-blades are a little bit heavier, but they're a little bit more grippy. And then the bi-blades are only a 1mm motor shaft, so you sacrifice a bunch of durability. But yeah, this is not coming with me because I don't want to kill it. And yeah, this is how I remind myself to test stuff. I'll put the other setup in a separate frame and just stack it on top, and then I'll put it over here in the on-deck circle. And then if I need an idea for a live stream, I'm like, ah, shit, perfect. FizzPV says it's 42. What's 42? Euro says, have fun. I find something to do. Cool. We are going to fly the Beta FPV Air 65 Champion Edition and the 40,000 kV Mobula 6 2024. This should be an interesting comparison. 30,000 kV Beta FPV motors versus 40,000 kV Weebly motors. Or not, because I didn't charge any batteries. Yes, I did. I charged batteries yesterday, and they're sitting here because I am a goddamn genius. I'm going to put them... I'm going to put two of these on the... I'm going to put all three on the charger. I'm going to see which one is the highest voltage, and we're going to run that one first. And we're going to let the other ones sit here and charge for a second. The highest voltage one is... this guy. He's at 4.33 volts. So this won't be a fully charged battery. Oh my god, I put the transmitter away and everything. Shit sticks. Hold on. I was doing really good with like not packing the stuff that I knew I was going to use on the live stream. But then I've been really wanting to watch Wednesday on Netflix with Little Boo and Maggie, and they were both not busy, and I was just like off the fucking rails, stressed with packing all this stuff up. And I said, you know what, I gotta take at least a little bit of a break and at least have it on in the background. And so we watched the first 3 episodes of the second season, I want to say, of Wednesday. I wasn't paying super close attention. I am going to rewatch it, but it seemed like it was pretty good. They're really focusing on like the school and the kids, which is kind of cool. It feels very different than the first season. Let's fly the Beta FPV Air 65 Champion Edition first. It's totally stock except for the propellers. These are HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 tri-blades. Nope, that ain't it. That's the one. Here we go. I can't believe they haven't made more of these Champion Editions. They are really good. It's like the perfect Air 65. It's all blacked out and shit too. It's cool. I like it a lot. There he is. There he is! Yeah, man, every time... oh my god, it is... what's happening? Angle mode's on. Or horizon, actually. Hey! Uh-oh. Hey, I got out of there. Look at me. Every time I fly this thing, I'm like, yeah, dude, this thing is... it's just... it's got a really good amount of power. It's really noisy, though. The tune is actually really noisy. The tune is on the edge right now. Hold on. That's why it's so noisy. Oh, it's got this weird-ass tune on it. Let's just back it off the tiniest little bit. Maybe that's all it needed. He just doesn't care anymore. None of the gates are set up. Oh, boy. Don't fall behind that. Thank you. Look at this. It's back, yo. It's back. And look at those beautiful LEDs back behind there. Oh, my God. Look at them. Look at them in their little channels. No hotspots, no bullshit. And I can go here. I can fly across here again. Oh, it's so nice, which lets me use the newbie drone gate more. No, you son of a bitch. Nope. Don't disarm. Man, it took every bit of self-control to not disarm. I'm team disarm and then rearm for sure. No. Let me fly. No. Let me live. Come on now. Oh boy. Oh my God. Hey! There's my boy. Oh, what? How did I hit that? Come on now. What? The newbie drone gate is obnoxiously small. My God. Can I get one? Can I get one good little dive in here? There we go. Woo! Yikes! I'm having a hell of a time with the newbie drone gate tonight. Oh, wow. I can't even do the Matty flip through it. Come on now. Let's see if I can blame the camera not being level. Is the camera not level? It might not be level. Oh my God, what was that? Where am I? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is that? Oh, I'm in the top of the workbench. Hey, buddy. How are you? Oh, he didn't like that one. Oh, he didn't like that one. Oh! 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 Oh, shit, he'd had enough. He's had enough. What are you going to do about the bouncing quad, Teddy? Oh, shit, we got a little snarl. Oh, God, I ran that battery down too low. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. I mean, I was kind of screwing around for a while, but really good runtime. Jesus. This rig's pretty light. The Air 65 AIOs are very lightweight because they're very thin. Unfortunately, that's one of the reasons they're so fragile. But yeah, man, BetaFPV, make more of these champion editions. They're really, really good. I'm tempted to bring this, but it's on the banana hammock canopy, which is gonna break on the on all the wood. The Whoop House is just wood everywhere. So I might actually leave this here, and I think I'm gonna bring this guy instead. This is the Mobula 6 2024 version 1 direct soldered 0702 40,000 kV motors. With the indestructible old school, not really indestructible, but damn near indestructible Mobula 6 canopy. Oh, this is on a light AF frame though. I don't love that. This battery's a little beat up. Oh, come on now. Oh wait, no. This is on an Air V2 frame. Yeah, I'm totally bringing this one. This is on an Air V2 frame, so this one is probably damn near indestructible. Air 65 V2 is what I meant to say a minute ago. Here we go! Oh no, I ain't getting out of there. Oh god. Oh my god. Oh no. It's upset. It's trying to fly away on me. Why are you trying to fly away, little buddy? What happened to you just now? Hold on. Check the antennas, make sure they're not vibrating. It could have been the problem. Let's see. Get up in there. All right, let's see if it's anybody. Well, hold on. Let me spin each motor up real quick. Motors are pretty beat. 2 front motors are pretty banged up. Probably has a lot to do with it. Yeah, it is hard to fly because it keeps wanting to fly away. Oh, God. That went through, but boy, you could just barely see it. Little bass, oh boy, little bass drum bump for you. Woo! There we go. Oh! Hey, hey! Oh, come on. There it is. Oh! Getting on that floor, Tom. Ah. Newbie drone cube strikes again. Oh, I just nipped the, Oh! The gate! I nipped the gate. I just nipped the gate when I went through it. Woo! God, it looks so cool! And then, oh, that gap between the floor tom and the desk is delightful! Come on! Ooh! This thing is nice, yo. The combination of the Air 65 V2 frame with the little short ducts and then the Mobula 6 canopy is really nice. This feels nice and grippy. See it? Like you see how I can fly it slowly like that, and it just kind of comes in to it and just, yeah. The arrow, or the lack of arrow, from the Mobula 6 canopy really does a good job slowing this thing down. The ducts certainly don't do that. The Air 65 V2 ducts are super thin, and so they tend to be a little slidey, but then we offset that with this specific canopy, and it's really nice. I really like this thing. And then it's fairly lightweight because of the it's a Mobula 6 2024. Got a Weebleed sticker peeling off. That's pretty rare. That's super rare, actually. I was wondering why it was so hard to get the battery out of there. Last battery, friend. Wait, no, it's on here. Last battery is going to be a lava. Put it through the same rig. Here we go. Let's do it. Why are my goggles off? Because I turned them off. Ciotti! Oh, not quite far enough. Oh. I tried to sneak it back behind the TV all sideways and corked out. I didn't quite have the momentum. No, no, no! Ooh! Ooh! Oh, yo! Oh, God. Don't do it. Oh, my God. I went through the corner. Oh, no! Wonder if there's any lights on up here. Nope! Well, no, there's a couple lights on. Oh! That was... There was a plant over there I almost just crashed into. Oh, God! Oh, easy! The recovery, though. Thank you. Thank you, Crash Recovery. Yeah, the Air 65 V2 frame, like, you can definitely tell that the ducts are fairly shallow. The Mobula 6 canopy doesn't have nearly as much of an effect as the Cockroach 65 V3 frame, but this is lighter. The Air 65 V2 frame is lighter than the Cockroach V3, and the Cockroach V3 with this canopy is really draggy. I mean, like, you get used to it, but it's, yeah, like, it really feels like a Cinewhoop. I love it. I really, really, really love that. But I can see how some people might not. But man, I mean, if you haven't put like 1,000 batteries into flying inside, that combo is going to really help you fly in the house, because it's going to be a lot less loose. Well, there you go, friends. Last couple of batteries for the next like 5 days on this live stream, at least. I'm going to fly a ton, and I'm going to DVR the shit out of it, and then I'm going to come back from Castle Crash just like last year with lots of flight footage and lots of testing, and we're going to talk about lots of cool stuff. I'm bringing an assortment of builds that are set up a little bit differently. Now that we're thinking more about like the aerodynamics of these things, I've got builds with like really aerodynamic canopies, not aerodynamic canopies, and then all three of the big frames, Light AF, 65 V3, and Air 65 V2. So yeah, we'll have some good fodder to talk about when I get back next week. Thanks for hanging, friends. Wait, no. Chat. Let me get caught up on chat. 42, right? The meaning of life. Yeah. From Hitchhiker's Guide. Benny Bravo says, any ideas on whether it's okay to mount the receiver to the bottom of the Beta FPV 4-in-1 flight controller? Have it currently on the bottom, but it's causing lots of vibration. Will it overheat VTX on top? Most of the racing rigs used to be either receiver or VTX on bottom. So mounting stuff on the bottom is totally fine. You just have to make sure that the battery is not pushing up into it, or that it's not pushing into the frame or anything like that. So you got to get it mounted like perfectly centered on the bottom and look to make sure that there's clearance there. That would be my guess, is what you've got going on. Cold Power says, next time you print something with TPU that needs supports, use PETG as the support interface layer. Support removal is so clean and easy. That's pretty cool. But then you got to like switch back and forth. Interesting. Sporty says, do you have the AMS for your 3D printer? I don't, and I won't. The 3D printer is in like a tiny little spot, and that's like it. I'm not having some big crazy AMS thing. There's just no room for it, and that's fine. I don't want to dive that deep into 3D printing. If I need something with multicolors, I'll ask Brian from Brain 3D or one of you beautiful people. Thanks for hanging, friends. CiottiFPV.com if you like these live streams and would like to see them continue. This is a totally crowdfunded thing. Hopefully I've saved you enough money where you can throw a couple of those bucks back my way. Patreon is the absolute best way to support me. $3 a month, that's 10 cents a day to get in there in the general admission tier, but you might as well jump up to the $5 a month tier, because then you'll at some point win a Tiny Whoop or Toothpick giveaway, and you'll get like $50 worth of stuff. That easily pays for that extra $2, you know? Cole Power says, oops, AMS is how I have it switch between the filaments to do the interface layer. Yeah, I was wondering how you would do that without an AMS. Thank you, friends. If you're going to be at Castle Crash, I'll see you there. Please come and hang out. Otherwise, the rest of you, I'll see you on Monday. Here's a little bit more RC drift car chasing. Enjoy. Let's do some analog. Is this analog or HD0? Yeah, you'll be able to tell. It's analog. Love you, bye!